to take 5 months if she died in January to arrest the parents when everybody who showed up that night realized this was a problem.
What's going on, y'all? Grind Motivate back in this thing again, man, with another video. And today we have some degeneracy on hand with I don't know, yeah. But we were gonna talk about this video, but then Kevin Sam just came through and he went ahead and passed and made everybody have to scramble to talk about that, unfortunately. But the name of this video right here is "Woman Melted to Couch." Autopsy showed she was eating it. Parents are out on bond. Yeah, you might need to put that drink down. This is the girl story. Let's get it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now. Well, it's that time to kick off the Factor Uncensored tonight. New information coming to light in the case of 2 deadbeat-ass parents near Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I'm liking this newscaster.
Yeah.
He's kind of telling how it is so far. Let's get it.
He says uncensored, so he's going to be real.
Isaiah Factor.
Charged in a severe case of neglect. Now, we first told you about this story last night on The Factor. Sheila and Clay Fletcher are now out of jail after...
She looks like the mom from Resident Evil. What the hell?
Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's time for supper.
Who are all you people? Where's Mia?
Eat it. It's good.
And he looks like he could be on Resident Evil as well.
They kind of look alike. Their facial expression are very similar.
Both of their facial expression gives me that low-key evil. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives me that. Let's get it.
Being indicted on second-degree murder charges. Their 36-year-old daughter died in a way no one should. Severe and extreme neglect. She literally marinated in a couch for years. Basically melted into it and was found covered in feces, urine, and
So that means that these people were literally not doing anything for their daughter at all. They had no type of sympathy, no sorrow, no nothing. Like for years.
And if were they living in the same house or were they?
Yeah, I think they were living in the same house. That's
even grosser.
That's gross as hell. So think about that. You have to really be
hating on your...
Yeah, you gotta be hating on somebody, but you have to be really neglecting somebody for them to start to fuse into the couch.
What's the movie we watched yesterday? Like the dad got killed by the son.
What was that? Clean?
Yeah, because he was trying to teach the son a lesson.
Yeah.
He'd be like,
that's your punishment. Teach her a lesson?
Maybe.
Some weird way. Let's get it.
Told large maggots. Chris Nakamoto, an investigative reporter in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, broke the story with my former photographer in Baton Rouge long ago, Joe McCoy. Now, if you thought details of the story we first told you about were just disgusting, Nakamoto says there's more. He joins us on The Factor now with where the parents are now.
They actually had a bond set yesterday. It was $300,000 apiece. And then a bail bondsman came to assist them with that bail. But there was a little hiccup. He brought about $3,000 of money short that they needed to get out. So Sheila was able to get out last night, and Clay just bonded out this morning after they got some of the additional money.
Do you think that they should be allowed bond with this situation like this?
No.
Yeah. I don't think so. You think this is a little bit of privilege on hand?
$300K each? So it's like $600K in total?
I don't know how they had that Resident Evil stash house treasure money, but they did. But
yeah. Mostly when they decide if you can be on bond or not, it's like if you have a flat risk or not. So maybe maybe they don't own a passport. Who knows? So it's like lower risk.
Right, and I guess they figure you can't melt somebody in the airplane chair in a day. So let's get it.
It really is just a horrific case of neglect. Both of them were indicted on second-degree murder charges Monday by a grand jury in East Louisiana Parish for basically letting their daughter, who had autism, rot away on a sofa, they believe, for possibly 12 years.
Wow.
So how long was she dead before they called authorities, or did they call authorities? Give us the details on that, because it's not too clear.
Our sources think that she wasn't dead for very long. The parents were out of town the weekend before she was found. She was found 23rd, and they had called saying that their daughter was unresponsive. And then immediately when, paramedics help arrived and then the coroner arrived, he said, we need to treat this like a crime scene.
How is this just now being talked about? That's a good question.
But the crazy thing is the parents called and said our daughter's dead.
Yeah.
When she's been dead, when she's been like melting for a long time.
Yeah. So how should they have bond? That makes it even more crazy and heinous. Let's get it.
Basically, he could tell it was just utter neglect. Literally, her legs were embedded into the sofa, and she hadn't moved from there. It was basically, from what we were told, like a latrine or a cesspool that she was living in. Just horrific conditions. She had open wounds to the bone from her feet all the way to her buttocks, and essentially had gnats and maggots all around her body.
Oh my God, that's just incredible and just so damn sad. Now, how did they live in a house? Obviously, there are going to be smells. If she is sitting there in her feces, her urine, and sitting there for at least a decade, how did they live in that house?
So that's what's so interesting. I guess they were just immune to the smell after living in the filth for so long. Listen, we got a picture from the living room of the floors that were buckling underneath the sofa, the wooden floors, because it was just layers upon layers of human waste, urination, feces, all on those wood floors. And essentially the coroner told me when he had showed up at that house, he couldn't eat for a week. And he's a practicing physician who's been doing this for 30 years, and he's seen a lot of neglect before. He said he's never seen a case like this. One of her causes of death was starvation, and they said she was so hungry she was actually eating parts of the sofa around her. During her autopsy, they found sofa.
These parents are extreme garbage. They don't deserve any type of humanity at all. They didn't deserve bond. They should have put them in a prison or in a jail or whatever and let all the little different people come and mess with them and do whatever to them. Not feed them. Slap them around as the guards.
Okay, that's not going to happen.
I know, it's what it deserved. I don't care. I'm going
but I'm thinking about something else. First of all, like if you saw the picture of the house, it looks like a very regular looking house from the outside, So imagine if they need to sell the house to get money, right? It's like, can you imagine you're seeing this house on the market and you don't even know what happened, and the floor can be brand new. You wouldn't even know what.
That's ugly. I wouldn't even want to live there at all. Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there.
And then
regardless of how nice it was.
And then the other thing, because you probably wouldn't find out about the past history.
It'd be like one of them scary movies where you find out later.
Oh, that's really gross. And then this kid, this woman, she had autism. So it's like I don't know how severe it is, so she probably like can't even call out.
Yeah, she can't even communicate, and if she is communicating, it probably sounds like, yeah.
So they were probably collecting some kind of like welfare check
Maybe they were.
So that's why they just kept her alive.
Yeah. But it's not like, let's think about it. It's not like they were just walking past her. They were definitely saying some really crazy things to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you deserve it. You look special. You special. You deserve it.
But look at her. She looks pretty grown here in the picture, and she looks pretty happy and healthy. So I wonder what happened to make the parents like turn the other way around. Who cares what happened?
They're trash.
Foam inside her stomach, along with feces. Feces were in her nostrils. They were in her mouth and her hair. Just a horrific case.
What do we know about these damn parents? Who are they?
So
what do they do for a living? I mean, just who are these people?
They lived a normal life. The neighbors say they would see them come and go. They were always the church-going type, as they described them, always in church every Sunday. The mother worked for a prosecutor in the city of Zach.
She works for a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Which is probably about 15 minutes from where they live. And it's not really clear what the dad did. He may have been involved in some nonprofit type work, but it's really kind of unclear what he did for a living. Some of our sources say that the daughter, who was nonverbal at the time of her death, was very verbal when she was in school. She was on the volleyball team, and she could recite things like that. Some of the people that went to school with her. So it seems like she really digressed over the last few years, and the parents, instead of picking up the phone to make a call and say, hey, we need some help over here to treat our daughter's condition, they just let her rot away on a sofa. It's literally
straight garbage. That's exactly like the movie we watched yesterday where the dad was like, leave him.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Maybe like she didn't do things as they wished. She like disobeyed them, or
I don't think that's what I think. He's probably like, yeah, you ain't no kin of mine. Yeah, you ain't no.
No, but my point is, they took care of her all these years through high school. Why did they stop? What triggered them to make them stop taking care?
Digress. She started to deteriorate. So
like
then
she
he's
can't
like,
talk and
now he's like, you ain't no kin of mine. Our genes wouldn't fail. That's what he's probably thinking. It doesn't matter what they did; they look garbage, regardless. Let's get it.
One of the most disturbing stories we've ever covered in my 15 years doing this here in the Baton Rouge area.
It's just mind-blowing. And so, did they ever have visitors over to the house? Relatives over to the house? What did
this guy's asking the right questions?
people say, if they did, or did they just keep her locked up? Was she placed in like a living room or some secret room where no one would see her in that house?
So from what we're being told, she was actually in the living room, and here's the kicker: the mother literally had her recliner next to the sofa where her daughter was literally rotting away.
Wow.
And so the sofa was positioned in front of the TV, and she apparently had been there for possibly up to 10 years or so. We talked to one of the neighbors who I had asked, hey, have you ever been in their house? He said, yeah, I've been in their house. Well, how long ago was it? He said 15 years ago. We actually broke the news to the neighbor that Lacey had died. He didn't even know that his own neighbor's kid across the street had died 5 months ago. So they kind of kept to themselves, and it seems like over the past few years.
It's really weird because if you have a house, right, there could be things that break down. So over the past 10, 15 years, I don't believe there's never been anybody like going into the house and fix stuff.
Yeah.
So like someone has to, I just feel like someone has to saw or heard something.
So yeah, I agree. I think there were more people that are involved that know about it and they didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
So they deserve to be just as put in the trash bin just the same, to me. Unless the dad was like her handy dude or something. That's the only thing I can go with. But you can't be that handy. Let's get it.
They really retreated, and they were basically like hermits, not really coming, inviting people into the house.
Right.
Because certainly you would think if people were in the house and witnessed that and didn't do anything, Louisiana is one of the mandatory reporting states. Those adults would have a real responsibility to report the neglect that they saw. And if someone was aware of this happening, they could possibly face charges too.
That is just incredible and mind-blowing. And you see so many pictures with the mother and father with their LSU shirts on, out having a good time, all while their daughter is sitting there just wasting away and dying. So what's the next step for prosecutors now? Obviously, you said they are out on bond. And so what's the next step now for investigators and prosecutors in the case?
So the next step now that they've been indicted by a grand jury, is they'll have an arraignment where they plead guilty or not guilty. And then as that happens, then the process will move ahead with, motions, hearings, and then possibly a trial date that will be set. But that probably won't happen for a few more months or so. But the autopsy was complete.
The mom looks pure evil. The dad looks like she wouldn't mind anyway.
They just don't feel, they don't have any
There's no remorse.
regret.
Yeah, she looks pure evil, like, I don't care, I'm not dead.
Back in March, and it was immediately ruled a homicide, Lacey's death. And the big question that a lot of the public here has is, why did it take 5 months, if she died in January, to arrest the parents when everybody who showed up that night realized this was a problem? They'd never seen anything like this. The stench hit them like a ton of bricks the minute the door was opened. So how in the world did it take 5 months to arrest these parents? And from what the sheriff said was they wanted to make sure that all their I's were dotted, T's were crossed. They knew that this case was going to a grand jury this week, and they wanted to see what the grand jury was going to do. And I think prosecutors were pretty clear they were going to be able to get a charge of cruelty to the infirm or maybe even manslaughter or negligent homicide, but no one really expected that they'd be able to get a second-degree murder indictment, which, if convicted, would carry a mandatory life sentence in prison for the parents. And so second-degree murder shows they had intent to kill their daughter, who literally rotted away on the sofa for all those years, and it appears they did nothing to help her.
That's horrible. Well, all right, Chris.
Yeah, they deserve to be life sentenced. They don't deserve to ever be seen again in the streets.
There should be death
They
penalty.
really should probably have some
Because
executions.
your life sentence, you still get food, you get treatment. Like in the hospital, if you get, the prison, if you get sick, you still get treated, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you still will have better treatment than how you treated your daughter.
Yeah, unless they keep the dad around and raging Cajuns and they want to jump in his booty.
But still, he's gonna be alive.
Okay. Yeah. And raging Cajuns get to him. Mama's gonna live a better life in prison than he will. I think.
Either way, I feel like that.
Yeah, they should just put them away. Yeah, and it shows you how messed up the justice system is in America. The fact that they didn't arrest them from till May, when they started in January, just because they had to make sure all their I's and dots and all that T's is crossed and everything. Just because if you don't, then they might somehow get away. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. But yeah, that's it for the video right there. Y'all let us know what y'all think about these folks, man. Yeah, are you like, man, I want to be a parent like that? Or are you like, man, that's crazy, that's garbage.
And also, I think the fact that mom works at the prosecutor's office, so she probably has connections. So there are probably people that really know the law really well that can help her find the loopholes. That's probably also why they're extra cautious when they're arresting them.
My question is, what are they doing now that they're not in jail? Because if the people came in and they cleaned their house up and everything, it's a crime scene. Did they let them come back to that house, or did they make them go to a hotel?
But it's been 6 months already, so they probably collected all the evidence.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So they're just at their house, just living regular, just cutting grass and walking here and there. And I wonder if the neighbors are still saying hey to them. There
definitely will be neighbors, like nosy neighbors trying to figure things out, and there will be like paparazzis or like news reporters.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think they can live their regular life.
Yeah, they don't deserve it. But they live out there in Louisiana. You don't know where they probably live in like a country area.
Yeah, in a small town like that, then they're gonna be what's the negative word of famous? They're gonna be
infamous.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're
people
gonna go to the local bar.
Yeah, they'll go to the store and people are like,
Jenny killed it. He killed a daughter.
oh, that's a couple.
Yeah. The mom used to sit right next to him on the couch, and they used to be like, you ain't nothing.
Yeah, let's talk to the owner and get them out of here. I don't want to be in the same bar as them.
The mom's got connections to the prosecution's office, so there's nothing we can really do about
Who cares about that? No, I think they're gonna get treatment like that. Like, they're gonna be kicked out from the bar, from the local restaurants, because people just don't want to have any association with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's real. All right, man. That's it for the video. If y'all watching to this point, let us know what you think. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.